Good afternoon, Toronto. It is time. It is standing room only here at the Major. And I've even taken a few lessons of how to say Toronto. Apparently there's no T, which some of you lovely people pointed out to me yesterday. But what I can promise you is not only I'll be better going forward, but the games will be as well. Two teams here, both having won a major this year. But here's what's important. Going forward from this point, it is all to play for. There are only 3 more games in this major, and then 1 more championship. So there are no excuses, and there's no more time to waste. Let's bring out the first team. Please make some noise for the new York Subliners. HyDra, Skyz, KiSMET, Priestahh.
They're from the Big Apple. You think they're afraid of an acorn? They want to get that trophy, and they got HyDra, one of the MVPs, to try and get it done. KiSMET looks serious on that stage. He has been an absolute beast, and they're going toe-to-toe on Toronto's best maps. Let's bring out the hometown team.
Well, last and certainly not least, time for the tunnel. Time for the fans to make some noise. Please welcome your hometown heroes. It's Toronto Ultra! Scrapz, Hixie, Insights, CleanX.
Toronto Ultra, 2 rookies on the team, and I think I saw a sign that said Charlie in the headshot factory. They have been putting up the numbers, and they have been proving themselves on the biggest of stages, and now they need to do it again in front of their home crowd. I'm looking at the vets, Insight and CleanX, to turn up for this series to get another W against New York Subliners. It all starts here to take home their own trophy. It's time to get this match underway.
All right, thank you very much. The players are taking their seats. The teams are ready. The fans have it. It's time to hand over to the casters for this one. A wonderful man and his friend, Slando and Study.
Oh, you didn't have to do that, Brian. You didn't have to do that. Jay, we absolutely love you, buddy. We've got a banger right before our very eyes. The hometown Toronto Ultra taking on, well, their neighbors in the New York Subliners. This is about to be crazy, Jay. What? Winner of this goes on to see top 3 facing off against Røkkr. Loser is out, top 4.
This is going to be an insane matchup. We already saw it once at this tournament. It went all the way to a game number 5, and Hixie did it all to secure that victory for Toronto Ultra. That's actually insane to say that they were able to beat the Subliners with 3 players underneath a 1.0 KD, including Scrapz. The Des touched on it. He had a 0.7, which was the worst series I've ever seen him play all throughout this year. But if Scrapz is going to play the way that he did yesterday, 1.2 versus LAT for the clean 3-0. Toronto Ultra, the hometown team, they got the crowd buff. This is going to be an exciting match.
Yeah, it is going to be electric. As you said, my friend, we saw these 2 teams match up for their first matchup here at the Toronto Major. It went down to a game 5. It was the Ultra who were able to take it, but Jay, HyDra and the boys from New York felt like they squandered it, right? We went to that control. They were up, what, like 23-10, somehow lost that. And then from there, the rest of the series began to spiral. It feels like for New York, you've got some unfinished business.
Oh yeah, you are definitely knowing that we should have beat this team already. That control is the turning point. You can't allow Toronto Ultra to clutch up in that situation. These teams have matched up 5 times throughout the year. It's currently 4-1 in favor of Ultra, and every time that they have won the series, it's usually through the control, the same exact way. So that's going to be the biggest map in this series for me. That middle one, and that map number 3 is going to decide who gets the W.
The hotel we start, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be here for a while. It's Hotel Hardpoint, S&D, and Control. We are hoping that we can see something other than this hotel, but it's going to be our landing location for the next 3 nights. Let's have ourselves a great series. Who's moving on and whose tournament run ends right here? It is time to find out as we fly in for P1.
Into the P1 we go. If you are the Ultra, the way you were able to take down the Subliners in that last hard point, The previous series was just swinging the rotation, and that's not the way you want to start. Subliners spawn on the better side. They're going to get that P1 time. They're getting all 4 dead and already flipping the spawns. Perfect start to this hard point for the Subliners.
I don't know if we've seen a better start than this. Skyz already hitting different. Toronto quickly on the back foot are going to have to adapt and going to have to re-strategize. First goal is to get Skyz out of this objective. Tagged up, but still yet to fall. He continues on that spree, but it's Scrapz and CleanX who at least wipe away 2. Toronto still in search of that first point, and finally, there it is.
And you will take that if you are Subliners. You get 33 seconds off of P1, which is very difficult to do. But now you are fully set up off the rotation. KiSMET holding down the main desk. You have all of Toronto Ultra trying to apply pressure through Sandy's side. That's 3, make it all 4 dead. But at least Toronto do get at least 1 player in the close spawn. Insight's in a position to make a play happen.
Right now for Jamie Craven, he's got to go big. Thankfully, a few of his teammates are winning fights off of spawn, so it's going to lighten the load for him. Not as much pressure, but into the front they go. Insight ends up winning that fight. Trophies out. Camp is starting to be set on up, but it's KiSMET and HyDra who answer back with 2. Scrap not able to win it. It's the French phenom who takes the crucial 1v1, and still it is New York locking up the seconds. Ultra still knocking on the door, but not today.
And the setups right now from the Subliners are on point. Toronto Ultra, they're the #1 breaking team on Hotel HP, but they have not been able to find success now on 2 hard points. But off the rotation, finally the Ultra, first team here. They got the opportunity to get set up in towards the kitchen. You got Scrapz watching the back lines as the Subliners going to put pressure over towards bedroom. You know, they have a lot of time to work with the lead that they have. Let's go for those spawns and try to flip.
Toronto have been dominant versus New York all season long, and it started with hard points, and it specifically started a lot with hotel hard points. Priestahh in an interview said, hey, our game 1s are what give us confidence. This begins to stress the importance for both of these teams. For Toronto, you're expected to take this hard point. For New York, you desperately need it. And right now, they're playing like it's on the top of their mind. Another spree coming out from NYSL, and this time it's HyDra. The quick break as New York get closer to the century mark.
And this is the worst breaking map for the Subliners. They're sitting at 7th in the league. Every other map, they are a lot better, but they are making the proper adjustments, making the right plays. They currently find themselves on a 12, making 13 team streak until KiSMET does get taken down. Subliners are not making any mistakes. HyDra, the MVP of this roster, already on a 7th streak. He earns himself that cruise missile, and it's going to be Subliners again winning another rotation.
Oh my God! HyDra is beaming right now. Feels like it's his world and we're just living in it. We'll see if he can keep this on up as Toronto desperately getting some points. Paco eventually drops him from there. Toronto with the early break over at Bar. And who would have thought it's Insight helping lead the way. Great little headshot will make things a little bit easier for the teammates as Toronto are relying on this hard point, Jay, to get them right back in this game.
Yeah, so far it's been a great hold, but Subliners, they combine for 2, make it 3 down. They're not able to flip those spawns. HyDra knows that at least 1 player is going to be towards back spa. The rest are going to spawn out towards bottom bedroom. And Ultra, they're not budging. They are holding on for this remaining time. CleanX is able to find 3. Him and Hicksy combine for 3 in a row. And now get a full 60 hold over towards the double desk. And now it comes down to the rotation. Ultra starting to turn up.
And these transition kills are going to be big. Since CleanX falls, it then gives New York numbers. However, they do have somebody currently going on a flank. How about Insight? He's been the guy leading the way, jumping on hard points first, and now he's trying to make the flanks. He does fall, but as you said, Jay, Scrappy ends up finding 2 in sequence. Oh, it's a big battle from the front. That spree comes to an end as Priestahh wins a big one. It's an all-out headbutt right now inside of the restaurant. And it's 2 big ones that come in from Ultra. Another flank as Hicksy now finds himself on 7.
And now he earns himself that cruise missile. The pitch was beautiful right there from the Ultra. It starts with Scrapz finding 2, and now Hicksy's doing the rest. He does get taken down, and now Subliners maintain that kitchen side, knowing that that next hill is going to be towards top flat. But if you are Ultra, just get as much time as you possibly can in towards the diner. Trades are going back and forth. CleanX finds another one, and with only 15 seconds left, New York now have to make the decision. We gotta back up. We gotta play for next.
Jay, how different have these last few hard points looked from what you've seen, right? It was New York early. What has Toronto done to get right back in this game?
They're finding breaks, man. You're sending a couple players off the rotation. They're winning those initial gunfights. They didn't start off like that, but ever since that started to turn around, they are making the plays happen. And Insight does it started with the tack in towards the kitchen. Now, if you are Toronto Ultra, you invest that cruise missile. You know that they're spawning across the map. You have the opportunity to get the break and potentially take the lead.
See if they can manage to do so. The cruise missile really ends up being somewhat void, at least information at the very least. But right now it is New York locking up the seconds. A great nade over the top from who other than Insight. Oh, nearly makes it 6 in a row. The other cruise missile would have been nice, but we continue to battle for the final 30 as HyDra does decide to put a toe inside. We'll see if New York can get him quickly off the HP, or if this streak from Toronto can only look to continue. Everybody wiped off the board, Jay. It's carnage everywhere right now.
There's only 15 seconds left towards top plat. And we go into our second set of hard points. You know what Toronto Ultra are going to try to do this time around. Just maintain those P2 spawns. You cannot allow the Subliners to blow this lead again. Now they're already thinking ahead. They flipped the spawns. Subliners spawning over towards the Jacuzzi side. They're more focused on finding these kills, but Ultra, they're not budging. They know how important this moment is.
Do indeed. Toronto, you can tell the stress, how valuable they realize that right side of the screen is going to be for next. The current 20-point game. And a big moment in it. Let's go ahead and step aside and see how the comms are sounding. Let's throw it to the hometown favorites, the Ultra Boys.
Kill us still.
It's one shot right side time. Or right side window, right side window.
Don't catch, jump the hill.
Yeah, jumped on me.
Right
Time.
window.
Front lobby.
Front lobby, really weak case. He ran in lobby. Give me on lobby desk. Give me on lobby desk.
Lobby down.
Nice, go in. Let's get this all time. Come, stay there, Toby.
Lobby.
Double.
One shot. Absolute lobby. Absolute inside.
Lamps.
Lamps.
Lobby dead.
One shot. Lobby.
Lamps dead.
Yo, couches.
Nice. Give me bedroom. I have my love swap.
I'm leaving all. Hey, put the lamps again. Look at you can make that. Nice, good shit.
Cross the
Yeah, gonna be bed.
I'm not going to swap.
Priestahh, Skyz. I spawn backstairs with you. I've
I'm a swap cross.
Short to connector. Short to connector. Gonna hit my double probably.
I have to block, Jimmy, okay? Yeah, I can't help you.
Doubles.
Watching you lobby, Toby. Watching you lobby.
2D2 over.
Stay the fuck out of that, Toby.
Catch can.
You
There's
good?
one lobby.
Lobby now, hitting. Lobby weak, left corner.
One spot.
What's this spot?
Yeah, spar.
Yep, I
Spot now.
One's gonna be hole.
Behind me, yeah, engine.
Right, on the stairs, I'm on lobby. Left corner lobby, I'm on the
Yeah,
stairs.
tell them myself. One lobby. Nice back steps. Two back steps.
It was in lobby.
Already lobby.
Nice,
Alright,
James.
luggage. Laying down, hold the spot.
The guy's lobby, one shot Priest. Front lobby now on time.
So spot.
Lobby in spot.
Left corner.
Luggage,
That
behind
guy
luggage
was really weak there.
now. So
Lobby.
luggage now. Kids.
I spawn out lobby now. Good pinch. I might be able to get pinch in the middle.
Yeah, he's going down.
Never mind. Do you want a bullet? HyDra?
Yeah, kill me. Two of them.
Okay.
25. Behind us.
One ran out. I think one ran out middle. Yeah, you can play that time as well.
Nice. I'll rotate. You guys hit that.
Skyz Priest.
Good doubles now.
That Jerry.
Nice,
One more
Skyz.
backstairs.
Skyz.
I'm leaving you.
Backstairs.
Skyz the road, I think.
Pitch your cat, right?
Priest and Kiss.
Pitch your cat right
Yeah, Skyz back door. Hit him twice.
Back door is dead.
Nice, good shit. HyDra Kiss.
Full 60 right here, boys.
That's one hold. Careful, boys.
Right side.
Trying to get away. Could be in front of me.
I'm chilling there right now.
Yeah, you might be in the back. Storage and catch.
Look at storage now.
You heard the man Scrappy call it. We need a full 60 here, boys, and we'll see if they can attain it. It is New York looking to break, look to get this game out of the way, and that's the perfect way to kick it off if you are a Subliner fan. Make Toronto continue to sweat as they are finding kills everywhere.
Yeah, Subliners, they have been able to turn this game on its head. They find the break over towards P2. You force Toronto Ultra to early rotate and then instantly find the break in towards Kitchen. They finally breached that 200-point mark. Ultra have a couple bodies around the hill. HyDra and CleanX do combine for 2, but now it's on KiSMET and Priestahh. They do find 2. Now it's a 1v1. Priestahh is able to take down 3. Final 20 going to the Subliners. They only need 30 points to take map 1.
Yeah, and this is just the New York that we've been seeing making such a wild run through the elimination bracket. They've won their last 9 maps straight, all 3-0s. The hard points have been electric, and a lot of it has been based off of this type of play style. Constant breaks, making the enemy have to sweat for every single second, and that cannot describe the way that this hard point has gone more accurately. Toronto holding on to every single point of positioning. We'll see if they can get something going here at the bar. These 45 seconds would be great, but again, Jay, it is just constant aggression being displayed from the boys in yellow.
It's just too much pressure right now from the Subliners. But at least you're able to stabilize the moment. You find 3 kills. You're controlling the spawn. Subliners continuously spawning over towards bedroom. Great shots as Insight finds that kill onto KiSMET. But this is 30 seconds that you definitely need. You have to send a couple players off that rotation. It's going to be Scrapz in the first engagement. He loses that fight. It's 20 such a massive, massive amount of junk time. With 15 seconds, it's going to look like the Subliners are going to be set up early. You got 2 players holding down this Shandy side, but you do have 1 player in HyDra who is snuck on by, but he cannot get past HyDra. Subliners win another rotation.
Great trades, effective ones at the very least from New York. First job done if you're Toronto, but this is where the expedition really starts to begin. First wave down, that's going to be Priestahh. Now here come the other New York players. Every time that we have seen Toronto and New York play on Hotel, the last 3 games have come down to just mere seconds. Can Ultra make it a contest fest again? It looks like it. KiSMET for 3. Get some assistance.
Okay.
Everybody, give it to the Bulldog as we are only a few seconds away. And there it is.
Subliners come out swinging in map number 1. They win a couple key rotations. When you got to the second set of hard points, it was all about those breaks. Ultra fought well, but when you can't hold down a setup, you make it easy for New York. Just find a 2-piece on the map. That's when they start the trade scenario, and they found breaks at P2 and P3, which was the turning point in this game. When you had a conversation with Priestahh in his last W, he said that map 1 victories do a lot of confidence for this Subliners roster. When you're able to take down a team like Toronto Ultra, you gotta be feeling great. Subliners 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, and you can take a look at the scorecard. CleanX, not a great performance. You saw him with attack throughout the majority of the game, but just nobody popping off, right? Scrapz, he goes negative. HyDra had a few great moments. We saw Insight going on sprees, but it just felt like, Jay, the break-heavy playstyle from NYSL was infectious, right? You're able to see HyDra and KiSMET both in the same range. When you see KiSMET dropping numbers like that, you know those are impactful kills. It just felt like every time when we were going over toward Kitchen and we were into listening with Ultra, they stressed, hey, gotta get a full 60. They weren't even able to hold the first wave down.
Yeah, that just can't happen if you are Ultra. You know what it's like to put yourself in the best setup possible. You had multiple scenarios where you were early off the rotation with about 20 to 25 seconds left. It gives you time to put everybody at the right place so you can hold down at least the first 2 pushes. But the Subliners, they always found an opening. And I know we stated that Toronto Ultra, every player goes negative. Yeah. That's usually what's gonna happen when your team is getting instantly broken on these hard points and you have to fight a lot more difficult gunfights. Subliners just came out to play in this map number 1. But if you are the Ultra, there's no need to stress. It's been the search and destroys that has been complete game changer from stage 4 to stage 5, 7 and 3, all throughout stage 5 in the S&D. They've been able to clutch up, so they still have an opportunity to make this a 1-1 series.
That's exactly right. Toronto, as you said, man, they've been great in their search and destroys, and it's funny because we're talking about New York at the same time. They've also been excellent in search and destroy. It feels like this is very much so going to be a very back and forth type of search, and well, when these teams matched up, Jay, just a few days ago, the opening matchup here of Major 5, they were on Hotel search destroy, and it was New York who was able to take it. So hopefully, if you're Ultra, learning from some prior mistakes, we see New York adapt after quite a few losses versus their opposition. We'll see if Toronto can do that now for Hotel search and destroy.
Yeah, and if you are the Subliners, you're feeling good. You've already beaten this team on this map 6-3. HyDra was the guy that usually sets the tone nice and early on, but the last 5 out of 6 times that they have played Hotel S&D, they have found a W. So this used to be a weak map for Subliners. They put in the work. They did the homework on the back end. They work on their setups, and they know exactly how they want to play. The difference is the last time when these 2 teams matched up on this map, it was all about HyDra, man. HyDra came out, and he started off the map 9-1. When you were playing on that attacking side, you're probably expecting everyone to slow down. HyDra's already going to be the aggressor. He's the tone setter. So I'm really looking at CleanX on the opposite side, who really didn't have the best of a map number 1 to slow down HyDra, because HyDra's always hitting middle map, and he's always getting that first blood.
Taking a look through the many faces you see for Toronto, trying to remain poised and stay focused. KiSMET, understandably so, barking out orders and preparing for Hotel S&D. Game number 2 of our series, one that you really need if you are Toronto. I know we can talk about Hotel for days, the control. That one definitely feels like it could be somewhat up in the air. So many reps between both these teams. But Jay, I mean, you talked on it. I think it's perfect, right? Out of all 8 players right now that we're going to have in this lobby, the guy who has had the biggest spotlight on him and who has absolutely dominated so far throughout Major 5 and just recently in S&D is HyDra. He is putting up historical numbers lately.
And that's what's been changing my mind of like who I think the MVP on the season is. Because HyDra's always been a great player in the respawns. His S&D was kind of lackluster. But all throughout Stage 5, he's sitting at like what? A 1.8 overall S&D KD. We saw him drop 18 and break the record on a map individually. And then he's also #1 at getting first bloods. He's just been taking his gameplay to a whole different level. So can he try to continue that here on the second night stay at the hotel? Battles between him and CleanX. Which SMG is going to win that one-on-one fight?
We will see. Interesting thing about Toronto is we're talking about first bloods. HyDra's been great for New York. The first blood king lately for Toronto has actually been Scrappy. He's been putting up excellent numbers lately in those opening engagements, so expect him to be involved in many opening engagements. HyDra versus Scrappy. It feels like the two players in the series and the two players to look out for in the S&D along with many others. In round 1 we go, and it's Insight starting things off the first blood.
That's a big first blood, and Scrapz is able to take down Skyz as well. So now it's just the Priestahh in HyDra. HyDra puts himself in a great position to take down Scrap. Now with 3v2, but he still knows that there's one player in towards bottom bedroom. Does he commit towards this one-on-one versus Insight while Priestahh's working mid?
Oh, and as Priestahh falls, this could be the opening for HyDra to walk away with one, but it's not going to happen. Great little snap there from Insight as he'll walk away with 2. And we'll get to watch this gunfight again. Just gets the audio cue from HyDra, goes for the quick turnaround. Exactly what you want to see from Ultra as they answer in our first, and what, it's only 1 kill that goes the way of New York.
And you can already tell these teams have definitely played each other on this map. Toronto Ultra make the adjustments early. You put Insight towards bottom bedroom with that AR, Scrap towards top. You know that Skyz like to play towards the God Heady. They try to go for that rush plant, so both of those players get the initial fights. Ultra take round #1. Now to the attack they go. It's a 2-2 split inside the bomb carrier. But you have CleanX who's trying to take pace.
Utility tossed. CleanX, another first blood found from Toronto. And with that, we'll see if they can start to build upon it. You've got a few players starting to roam around. If you are New York, player #7, about to get an engagement. Great victory there from KiSMET. Scrap able to escape with his life. So with that, New York not wanting to bow down. They aggress, gain control over the top side of the map, but that now forces Toronto to pivot.
Yeah, Toronto Ultra, they get all the info. They start to push out bedroom. Let's just try to get this bomb down. One player on this side of the map is going to be Skyz, but I don't know if he's going to have an opportunity to contest this bomb before it gets planted. He does not, and Insight might have got the perfect read. He does, finds that kill, throws a shoulder. Where are the teammates?
Oh, and KiSMET eventually finds him. CleanX. Oh, he's got to be there earlier. KiSMET, are you serious? 25 seconds and Scrap. You got to keep a level head. The rookie, can he find the 1v2 versus the SMG duo on the other side? He's got to stay strong. He's got to stand tall, and he's able to do it for the first time. Continues to tick. Paco has got to go. HyDra able to hop on it only for a moment, but Scrap is going to be here for the round. KiSMET gave us the highlight, but Scrap rewards us with the clutch. What nearly went the other way ends up finding Toronto favorably. 2-0.
And I thought CleanX, once he threw that stun, that was some really bad timing, but Scrapz, he was not worried. He put himself in a great clutch spot. Just stalled out that clock as long as he possibly could. If I'm HyDra in that situation, you got to get closer to KiSMET. You can't allow Scrapz to get that kill and then back down, play the clock for the rest of the remaining time, and then clutch up on the round. But Ultra now up 2-0, back on the defense. It's been 2 first bloods on their side so far. Now KiSMET's going to be the bomb carrier. All out pressure over towards the diner, and the only player here is HyDra. What can he do?
But it's a bit of a distraction, right? Because you have 3 players from New York inside a restaurant. Meanwhile, that bomb, not even close. Early engagement this time. It is New York who walk away with the first blood. Prior to, went the way of Toronto. Skyz, oh! Ends up nading HyDra! I thought that was not going to work out, but it's disaster inside a fridge. And with that, we now find ourselves in a 2v2.
Yeah, it's a 2v2 now. If you are the Subliners, it's not the way you were thinking that this round was going to go, but you get the bomb down. Can KiSMET get out with his life? No, he cannot. Scrap finds the timing. Now it's Priestahh in the 1v2.
All left up to P-Dog. Can he hold down this side? Are we about to see another 1v2? Can New York get their first round on the board? It's time for Toronto to aggress. Priestahh, for one, tries to get out with his life. He's successful in doing so. Insight, who has been so clutch. Can he catch the nade? He's got to stay alive. Tagged up. Oh! Insight takes it regardless. Eats the nade like a champ. Giving Toronto 3 straight.
And that's Insight, known for all the S&D clutches he has in his back pocket. Does not budge when that nade enters the kitchen. He holds strong on the pre-aim and takes down Priestahh in the 1v1. Another clutch round right there out of Ultra. You just got to think back of that mishap out of Subliners. That team nade. Takes down 2 players, makes it a 2v2, and Insight takes full advantage of it. Toronto, 3-0.
How poised is Insight in a situation like that? The one player who's been with Toronto Ultra the longest out of the others. And right now coming away with the clutch round, but into round 4 we go. And it's once again, New York starting off with the first blood. Last time around, that obviously did not go their way. Quite a few shenanigans. We'll see if they can begin to adapt and finally put one up for them. But take a look at this route from Hicksy. Knows the angle from KiSMET. Utility toss, both players trying to make it seem like an, oh my goodness, like an engagement could come. How about Hicksy? Finds it and escapes.
And that's how you make a play if you are the island player. You do your homework, you know that KiSMET loves to watch some TV. So you get that first kill, make it a 3v3. Now you allow your teammates to potentially work this bomb plan towards A. They get the info onto Skyz. Can they hold him in this corner? Scrapz does take down HyDra. Priestahh is there for the trade. 2v2 with 30 seconds.
Inside, he tried to suck it in, but unfortunately for him, Pillar just a little bit too small. Now into the 2v2 we go. Hicksy in the middle of rocking dead silence. Shots raining here throughout Hotel. That bomb is going to get down shortly. Problem being, bomb carrier's fallen. Now it is all on to Hicksy. No, not going to happen. New York finally able to answer.
Much needed round. I thought one KiSMET lost that 1v1. It's going to get very scary for the Subliners, but they held strong on their bedroom setup. Skyz was able to stay alive through bottom luggage. And Priestahh with the crossfire through the middle of the map takes down the bomb carrier. 1v2, you get a couple sound cues, you turn to your left, you win the gunfight. New York finally get one on the board. Back to the attack they go. But they are the second best team on the attacking side. Just can't be getting that first pick. You got to play for that quick plant. Force Toronto Ultra to move around a little bit.
Utility tossed all throughout the map. Sniper being brought out from Skyz. In the meantime, it is quite a few players hanging out in the middle side of the map for Toronto. Many players right now hanging out in the bedroom, both top and bottom. And Scrapz looks to reposition. This could be great timing on the Skyz. Snipers out for both sides. Oh, it's Scrapz not able to hit, not able to hit it. He, meanwhile, actually does get hit with a sniper shot. So he's able to stay alive. And in the meantime, HyDra, who has dropped Toronto, escaped with a huge situation right there. 4v3. And now for New York, it's all about finding a pick.
Yeah, you take down the playmaker in HyDra. So now you know Subliners going to play nice and slow. Hicksy gets the info onto where Priestahh is playing. Not going to commit to the chow. You know that the Subliners have to put that bomb down to win this round. And time is starting to tick with only 30 seconds left. The play might be made for them. You got to commit over towards A. And just like that, Scrapz is able to line it up with the snipe. It's another 4v2.
Oh, with CleanX not able to turn, so still 2 versus 3, 1 man down on New York, but they still have got to get that bomb down currently. It is Priestahh on Overwatch. Insight, you bet he's going to win a gunfight like that. And now it's all down to KiSMET. Does rock dead silent, so he will manage to escape for the time. Great positioning overall toward the top side. Has eyes on bomb. And can he come away with the clutch? Eyes on two, but can't finish. He can't finish either gunfight. And with that being the case, Toronto used their numbers favorably.
Yeah, there's just too many people for KiSMET to shoot at in that situation. The fact that he was able to put that bomb down, get out with his life, put himself in a position to where he could potentially have clutched the round. In that situation, you just got to commit towards one of those fights. You get one of those kills, you're able to get out with your life. It's a lot more manageable of a play. When you try to go for a snap to get 2 instead of 1, you eventually get none. And Toronto Ultra take the round, now up 4-1.
Utility tossed all throughout the map. Sniper being brought out from Skyz. In the meantime, it is quite a few players hanging out in the middle of Hotel. That bomb is going to get down shortly. Priestahh, tries to get out with his life. He's successful in doing so. Insight, who has been so clutch. Can he catch the nade? He's got to stay alive. Tagged up. Oh, it's Scrapz not able to hit, not able to hit it. He, meanwhile, actually does get hit with a sniper shot. So he's able to stay alive. And now for New York, it's all about finding a pick. Need an answer. Right now, if you're NYSL, it feels like so many times, whether it's the opening engagements, they just haven't really been able to capitalize on. A lot of the clutch moments favoring the boys on Toronto. In need of an answer here in this next defense, and HyDra, player number 5 on the minimap, could be the one to do it. Early shots are out, and Priestahh, great victory there on to Scrapz. As we said, New York needed to find something, and right now they're doing great work. That's not just Scrappy out of the fight, but the bomb carrier and Hixie down too.
Yeah, so now it's inside CleanX left in the 4v2, bomb down in towards the diner. KiSMET gets that info. Now he's holding strong behind the benches. 2v4 scenario, you just got to win a couple one-on-ones, and unfortunately CleanX does not do it. So Inside already has a 1v2 underneath your belt. How about a 1v4?
That would be something special. That would be absurd. Do you have it in you, Jamie? Known as a clutch player, and right now needs the ice. Not gonna happen. HyDra will put away the final kill. A round that we said NYSL had to take, and Jay, they take it emphatically. All starting with the great beamer coming in from Priestahh.
Yeah, Priestahh gets the first blood. KiSMET finds the second, and then the 4v2 with the bomb down. Both players from Toronto Ultra have to win some insane gunfights. Subliners, they weren't nervous. They clutch up on the round. Stay alive in the search and destroy. Now down 4-2. Into the swing round we go. Subliners just need to find some success on these attacking rounds. Ultra have been able to shut them down every time over towards A. Try to go over towards B.
And that's just a testament to both these teams playing each other so often, knowing the strategies, the tendencies, but as you called it, a lot of the hits today not working for New York. How about we adapt? How about we change? KiSMET finding one in Hixie, who was looking for a bit of information. And with that, he will falter. New York instantly in for the plant. 2 players in Overwatch, a big gunfight about to go down. It's Toronto looking for an entry, looking for an opening. Scrappy looking for the shots through the wall. And he actually finds one. Wow.
He's able to take down Priestahh, makes it a 3v3. Now KiSMET doesn't have that silence of best. He's potentially going to come right behind Scrapz. No, he's not. Insight saves his life.
Oh!
And CleanX is on the flank, but was a 4v3. Is now all left up to Skyz.
Skyz left all by himself. Oh, shots in everywhere as Toronto hot on the retake, and Scrappy amazed by what just occurred. It looked like New York had everything going for him. And we'll get to watch the wall bang again. Scrapz, picture perfect, firing through the brick wall.
The fact that Scrapz is able to hit that wall bang, make it a 3v3. We think that KiSMET has a freebie when he's coming up behind Scrapz, but Insight shows the teamwork, saves his teammate's life. And then CleanX wins the one-on-one into Diner. A complete breakdown right there from the Subliners. He's now going to put Toronto Ultra at game point. Just one round away from tying up the series. It's going to be all out pressure from the Subliners through the middle of the map. And Ultra going for the blind counter. Let's just get this bomb down, take control of bed.
Yeah, that's a perfect stun, tossed out from Insight. So New York, who were trying to send everybody through middle, they instantly get halted, and now they're going to have to take the long route back through the bedroom. You got someone also trying to make sure the restaurant's clear. So really 3 players out of the fight over at A. Priestahh, the one who was here, ends up winning that fight. Skyz takes down another 4v2 retake. New York, you've got numbers. Can Scrappy and Hixie, the long-time duo, can they come away with the clutch to close out the game? No, not gonna happen. They both fall in stride, and from there, New York, perfect retake.
Yeah, that was a great defensive setup right there from the Subliners. You take mid-map control, you see where the play is coming in, and then once you have that, you have a couple players committing towards that flank. You already have one player wrapping back towards bedroom. KiSMET wins a huge one-on-one. Priestahh starts it off with the first blood. And even though Scrapz find the trades towards the back end, there's a Subliner player behind you there for that one. As the Subliners stay alive again in the search and destroy, clutch up on the defensive round. But they just need to find some kind of success on attack, man. They keep getting retake on both of these sites. They're usually super successful over towards A. But HyDra can't be the player to drop early.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like, if you're New York, okay, A's not working. Let's go over to B. Okay, somehow Scrappy kills one of us through the wall. Nothing is working on attack, but can it start to really manifest itself. HyDra goes to the Dolphin Dive. He drops 2 players already out of the fight, and respectively, it's for either side. Skyz narrowly able to dodge the nade, tosses out the trophy, says a prayer as we continue to battle early on here in this round. Who can come away with another? Skyz not able to escape, and there it is. Toronto answer here on Hotel S&D. The crowd loving it. As now we've got ourselves a series, Jay. Guaranteed map 4.
Finally.
Woo!
Finally we get a game 4. But Toronto Ultra just made the adjustments throughout this game. Flawless on the defensive side. Did not allow the Subliners to get any successful plants on that side of the map. But they just came out ready to go. You play a team on a Hotel S&D a couple days ago, you're definitely going to be able to know what you did wrong and make those adjustments. Great defensive setup over towards that B site. The one-time Subliners try to go over towards A. They got instantly shut down. Insight was so impactful with his first bloods. Scrapz was great in towards the top bedroom. You know that Skyz loves to play top God Eddie. You take him down every single time. You also find a lot of kills onto HyDra and shut down his aggressive playmaking. Last time it was Subliners winning 6-3. This time it's Ultra 6-3. They tie the series up at 1.
And I think you called it perfectly, man. Like, another thing on top of it, too. New York, they were really stumbling on their attacks. They also walk away with 6 first bloods. Yeah. You won the first blood fight. We've been talking Hotel lately in Search Destroy. They have been so good at walking away with those opening engagements, but Toronto, too clutch. But I got to say, if there's one round that we're going to remember, it is that retake that Ultra had over at the kitchen.
That just can't happen if you are Subliners. You get the 4v3, you got KiSMET going for the flank. Unfortunately, Priestahh was not ready for that wall maid to come in, and it all falls apart after that, man. Ultra just did what they needed to do to now make it a 1-1 series.
Yeah, they had to answer, and the hometown team is able to do it. Hotel Hardpoint down, Hotel S&D down, but we got to head to Hotel once more for some control. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure and stay with us. As we said, the winner of this game, top 3, loser eliminated. We'll be back right after this break.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL. And upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the CDL. The CDL is brought to you by your favorite Orange Bandicoot. Pre-order Crash Team Rumble today. Available June 20th.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Toronto Major. It is Championship Sunday from a city that I would love to call home at some point. Jay, this place is absolutely amazing. We have had a blast. You can see the fans having a wonderful, wonderful time and preparing for this upcoming game number 3 between their Toronto Ultra and the New York Subliners. Jay, we're getting ready to head into Control, and it's our final night at the hotel, and it's going to be a very fun night, given, their prior history. We got some crazy numbers with New York. Talk to me about it.
This is the most important map. The most important map in the entire series. Every time Toronto Ultra take down the Subliners, it's always in the Control. They get the Control win, they see the W at the very end. The one time Subliners were able to beat them, they actually took the Control. So this map is everything for both of these two teams. We saw it go all the way down to round number 5. Subliners were up 25-12 with 7 seconds remaining. Toronto were able to extend that time by capturing B, but then with only 12 lives left, you cannot fumble that opportunity. So I know the Subliners are itching to get back on the map to try to fix those mistakes, because this is everything in the series.
It absolutely is. This map very well decides who wins this series and moves on to face off against Minnesota. New York, we talked about the numbers, 26-2 in series when they win Control, 2-15 in series when they lose it. We'll see if New York can come out on top, or if Toronto can get things going early. And how about that? Wonderful work from Hicksy. He is pivoting all throughout the map, tossing out nades, throwing out shots, 1 HP, but he's still firing, goes down with a bit of positivity, but it's Toronto who quickly hit the regain, run right into A. Meanwhile, it's a team nade for New York, low on numbers.
Yeah, and that's a big life out of Skyz right there, though, because there's no trophy system to work with for the Subliners. He's able to hold down that God head glitch, take down 2, and shut down that early pressure from Ultra over towards the B point. And now you're allowing your SMGs to still roaming towards the diner. Ultra have not been able to complete a segment over towards A. You do take down KiSMET. You have more bodies on this side of the map. With Insight finding that second, you're still going to be here. Should be able to get this 8 point as long as they find these kills, and CleanX finds another.
CleanX runs right into Priestahh's lap. Eventually does get traded, but Toronto desperately need to get at least one segment on board, and we'll see if they can start to build upon it. And with that being the case, still a few players scattered throughout the middle side of the map, basically working as scouts, trying to make the life count more in favor of you. Scrap nearly finds a second, however, with him dropping, that now puts a little bit more pressure on the players inside the point. CleanX, absolute beams. One last heroic moment for New York, and it does not work out. Another minute added on.
And now this is a scary situation, because all the Subliners players put a lot of pressure over towards A. No one has bedroom control. They only have control of double deaths, but at least HyDra and Skyz are able to take down 2, make it 3. So it looked like to be a Subliners mistake. They make up for it with the gunny. They take back control of the bedroom. They're currently up by 1 live. 1 minute and 20 remaining.
Yeah, and that's really the goal, right, Jay? When it comes down to hotel control, where you're on the attack, it's about those flanks, but it's more importantly about the bedroom control. If you can get somebody established in there, get the defense out of your base, you stand a much better chance of walking away with it, and that is really the objective right now from Mr. Scrappy. Get HyDra out of here. Unsuccessful in doing so, but the venture will continue. Time continues to tick. All 8 players alive. A team fight's getting ready to occur. And as we said, every single kill means that much more for Toronto as they begin their pursuit for the first time, really, at B.
And they're just trying to take bedroom control. They still know that HyDra is behind them. Also, where is KiSMET? Scrapz is going to go for the snap. Now they're getting all the players all spawn, but where is HyDra? Scrapz finds him as well. Ultra gonna try to do it again the same way that they played hotel control. They're gonna come out in round number 1. The stack is in. Scrap on a 5 spree. This is looking like Ultra's round.
Oh, it absolutely is. Nobody from New York should surely get here in time. They saw up Priestahh with the nade in Toronto. Answer in our first round of control. And Jay, the teamwork that they just put on display right there was insane. We saw the free cam. You have players going in and out of POV. That was so well timed from Toronto. You can just tell that they are familiar with being in a position like this. And my God, round one win. As we've talked about it, Toronto, the #1 control team on this season. And this is a map that they absolutely adore. First round goes to them as we reset sides. Now it's New York's turn on the offense.
Now the Subliners need to make up for it. Completely let go of that round #1. Initial fights all around the middle of the map. Just gonna try to extend this time. They know that Toronto have trophy systems. We can't go over towards B, so let's just go over towards A, get the easy one out the way. Try to keep up in the slaying. They have all map control right now. Toronto Ultra, they're not gonna put pressure over towards A. They're just gonna fight for that bedroom side. And it might come back to bite them because Subliners, they're finding all the kills in the feed.
And they've only died one time so far throughout this round. We got one player stalling things out on A. Meanwhile, the other players, normally 3v4 is not going to work out. It's looking perfect right now for NYSL. Nearly done over at A. That player eventually drops, but you stalled perfectly. This is the best case scenario for New York so far to kick off this round. 2 segments, a third one that's nearly there. Fight still going down. Toronto finally are able to answer. But Jay, you can see it inside of the segments. NYSL, they just made a huge dent here in round 2.
Yeah, Subliners just did exactly what they needed to do. Perfect rotation over towards B. You find the kills through the middle of the map. Now you need 1 segment left at A and also B. Toronto Ultra, they're just getting all the kills at the right time. The only player in this position is going to be CleanX once KiSMET finds that trade. A's going to be done and dusted. So the Subliners are up by 2 lives. We have 1:48 to work with for 1 segment over towards B. It has to be picture perfect for Ultra, because all Subliners need is 1 opportunity.
The way you started off that round has now left you in a fantastic position. Now we start to get into the gritty part of the round. Toronto, you've got to remain sound. You've got to remain solid. And with high-hit teams like that, it's not going to be easy. 1 3-man down, 4-man down type of situation in this round quickly can go the way of NYSL. Looking to answer here on the attacking side. As the numbers start to get beefed on up, to the spawn they go.
And you see the setup that Subliners are trying to do. You have 1 player committing to the super overextension. Team of 2 right through main deck while Priestahh is holding down bedroom. So this can start to get out of hand. We should allow KiSMET to find this trade, but HyDra with 2 might have just did enough for Toronto Ultra to shut down that push. And Insight finds 2 with the TAC 56. To now keep the Subliners in the back of their base. Time is still ticking. Insight can't win the next gunfight. Earn himself a cruise missile, but already a job done from Ultra. Just need to hold down 1 to 2 more good pushes.
That's what it takes, right? When you're in a defensive situation like this, you're just trying to lock down 1 more segment. HyDra going big, Insight going big, trying to remain on that spree. Another huge gunfight there for Charlie Hicks. As it's 3 quick ones for Toronto, New York starting to sweat it. 30 seconds as that time continues to flow. 1 last good push at this if you're New York, as they are desperately searching for some map control.
The Scrapz is literally in the back of the base, like just spawn killing the players coming off spawn. You try to wrap back towards bed, you're gonna die. And Insight is just holding down the middle of the map. It's only 10 seconds left. Subliners have to make a move on it. Skyz and KiSMET, they combine for 2. You also have a player going on that deep flank, so it's on the last 2 guys that are here. Insight is gonna come off spawn, Scrapz drops. HyDra's still in bedroom, he's gotta contest it.
CleanX going big, oh, the pitch is in! Big.
Oh my!
Put him down, Tobias! The crowd loving it! And that round swung constantly. Every direction, Jay. New York, excellent start. Toronto to the mid-round. New York finds the opening, but it's CleanX to the rescue. Toronto holds on.
And that's what makes Toronto Ultra the best control team in the game. Subliners are able to complete 2 segments towards both points with a minute left. They extend that time to 1:48, only allow 1 segment that's needed to clutch up on the round. But Ultra, every single time it got a little scary. Someone was going massive in the kill department. Majority of that round, it was HyDra. So now Ultra up 2-0, all momentum on their side. They're chaining it into the next round. That's another 3 dead. Let's get A out the way.
That round, that last one, has got to infuse you with quite a bit of confidence. I mean, you can just tell These guys are ready to shoot. They're ready to fire. Multiple players right now on sprees, but none more deadly right now than CleanX, especially in the close quarters. He's going for pre-fires just based off the sound cues. This man is ready for this control to be over, and right now, we're on his time. Eventually drops, but you can tell what that does for the rest of the Ultra. It opens things up as now you've got player 1 and player 2, Scrapz and HyXy, already here at the B zone.
And they can get on the point. All of Subliners players are behind enemy lines. They're gonna put himself in a position to potentially contest. Does he spot Priestahh towards bottom left? No, he does not. A freebie for Priestahh to take Scrapz off of that B point. Subliners maintaining map controls. Priestahh finds another. But with HyXy in this position, just gotta take your time, wait for your teammates to get into the play. If you can get a kill, even better. Puts down a couple shots onto Skyz, but is not able to finish it, and that leads to him finding Priestahh. This is the opportunity for Ultra to potentially close it out.
Exactly right, bedroom control gained, and right now Insight in the best position, at least finds one. Now setting up HyXy, has gotta be careful. As the rotation, the overextension, a few players from middle. Nade lands over the top, and now nobody's going to sit in that objective. So the time will continue to go down as Toronto prepared to regroup, and based off of CleanX, who will try to lead them inside of that zone and get the game done here.
The Ultra just trying to find their way on. You have one player from the Subliners sitting towards bottom bed. Insight wins the gunfight on a player overextending. Just got to take down HyDra. Now that's going to be 3 dead in the feed. Skyz the closest one towards main desk. The stack is going to be here. Ultra, progression starting to go up quick for this second segment. You do have one player from the Subliners going for that deep flank, but CleanX takes him down. The second segment is about to be in.
One more segment to go, and they're finding the necessary kills. Skyz trying to save the day. It's all up to him. HyXy puts him down. Here comes the stack. It's a nade over the top. KiSMET keeps it vacant for the moment. Everybody falls, but Insight instantly answers, waiting for reinforcements. Both teams trying to build up for the final minute. Lives favoring Toronto, but they are falling by the wayside. HyDra, with a quick few, now has kept this game still in the balance.
And Subliners only have 6 lives remaining. Keep in mind, Insight has that cruise missile. This might be the opportunity to call it in, get the info, and try to close it out in 3. Priestahh and KiSMET, though, they take down 2. They are still holding strong. Unfortunately, can't finish the kill on the Insight, and that has no more respawns for the Subliners.
Insight, more like Iron Man. He just took every single bullet and remains intact. 3 lives remain. Explosions everywhere. Toronto ready to celebrate another control victory, and it's 1 life left. HyDra down. Toronto answer in control. And it's a hot 3-0 for the best control team in the world, as now they are up in the series.
And that's what makes Toronto Ultra the best control team in the game. Doesn't matter how much time they have left on their attacking side, they need one opportunity, and they get it done in that round number 1. But then on the defensive end, to hold down both the segments, only allow that A point to get away from you. It's a minute and 48 where the Subliners need 1 tick over towards B. Toronto play it flawlessly on the defensive side to clutch up on that round. I feel like that's 2 rounds that the Subliners just let get away from them, especially that round number 1. But when you get into that final one, Ultra were completely outslaying. Insight didn't even have to invest his cruise missile in that final round. Ultra, better hardpoint team, the better control team by far, because now they find themselves up 2-1 in this series. Whoever wins the control usually finds himself at the W. And right now, Ultra set themselves up to definitely close this one out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, we talked about the stack coming into this series, how important controls have been all season for NYSL, a team that is so solid from top to bottom, so consistent in every game mode. But this day was just a total outclass. Ultra, as you said, a few moments where maybe things, I don't know, maybe shouldn't have gone their way, but they're able to maintain this round 2 where it's just 1 segment that New York needed. Ultra come out on top in a crazy finish here on defense, and like you said, in that round 3, just a total dominant slaying performance, as it's a 3-0 here in the control, and New York a tad dazed. have got to reset and refocus potentially the final map of their tournament. And Jay, where are we headed for it?
We're going to an embassy where these teams did match up. It was that game 4 previously in the last series, and it was New York who were able to absolutely dominate Toronto Ultra. It's not a strong map for the Ultra boys. The one thing that really stood out is when they won a couple rotations, they were instantly broken. And for that kitchen hill on P5, which is a money hill, they could not find a break on that because the Subliners setup was too strong. I know New York do find themselves down 2-1 in this series, but you're going into a map that you have already beat them on. You're feeling super confident to try to force that game 5.
I think that word is exactly the one that I'm sure is probably being preached right now in between maps right now, between the players of New York. Confidence, right? Coming into this tournament, we talked about it, how they use the sub, and their reasoning for it was, hey, we feel confident. We're ready to play whoever wants to face off against us. If it's going to be a difficult opponent, who cares? We're ready for the challenge. And a challenge is exactly what they're going to have. Down 1-2 in this series with Embassy Hardpoint now in the balance. As we take a look through our players, Jay, give me the matchup. If there's one player you're looking out for Toronto, one player you're looking out for on the side of New York, who is?
I think for Toronto Ultra, I'm definitely looking at Insight. He's been having himself a stellar series so far. Multiple clutches in the search and destroy, 25 and 13 on that control. Earns a cruise missile and doesn't even use it because he was just beaming in every single one of those engagements. So he's a guy who has to set the tone, win a couple rotations for his team. And on the opposite side is the guy on the screen, man. Caesar Skyz Bueno, always decided to invest in this game. There's no bigger moment to invest in than right here with your backs against the wall. He's the main AR for the Subliners roster. He was a big factor to why they were able to beat them on this Embassy HP last time around. Can he have that same performance again?
Yeah, we'll have to see. And it just feels like when you are the New York Subliners, we're talking about confidence so much. How could you not be confident? When you look through the list of players, we're starting obviously with HyDra, but you just look down the list, so many talented players. And I know you were highlighting Skyz right there. I mean, how unbelievable has he been, really statistically, since he even came into the league back in Black Ops 4? The pop-off potential is there from NYSL. It's just a matter of really been able to put down Toronto. And as you said, last time these teams faced off, start of the tournament, it was really based off of a few little moments, a few certain hard points. And we'll see if Toronto can start to learn, start to adapt. As I just feel like, Jay, I don't know if this is going to go game 5. I just feel like this Embassy is about to go wild. I mean, if you're Toronto, you're thinking, hey, we got to close them out here. We don't want to see this team in a game 5. And obviously for New York, you're fighting for your tournament life.
Oh yeah, without question. If you're Ultra, you have already displayed the homework and all the stuff you did on the back end to make this series look completely different. You lose the hotel search and destroy last time around. This time it goes your way in a 6-3 fashion. It was a very close control all the way into a round number 5. You make those small adjustments, and now it's a 3-0. This was a map that they did end up getting smoked on. So I'm definitely not concerned for Toronto Ultra to make these adjustments going into this Embassy hardpoint. They're the hometown team. They're trying to make this one easy and extend their championship Sunday. And it's just got to be better holds over towards Kitchen. If you rotate over towards the Kitchen side, you cannot get instantly broken. That was the game-changing hardpoint last time these guys matched up.
Yeah, you talk about Kitchen. It also just feels like when these teams faced off, New York was just ahead of the game when it came down to rotations. Toronto obviously favored right now, but you really like what you've seen recently from New York on this Embassy. As into the hardpoint we go. P1 oftentimes not really going to be an HP that you walk away with all that much time on. Regardless of it, both teams looking for the bottom side of the map. That's really going to be the bigger focus of the two. And into this one we go. Big battles going on throughout the map, and it's CleanX starting things off 3-0.
Yeah, and if you are Ultra, it's a good job of just keeping them off of this P1 time, but with you spawning on that better side. Last time they were able to get a full 30 seconds and chain it over toward the P2. And now the Subliners are finding all the kills at the right time with only 15 seconds left remaining at P1. It's a huge one-on-one gunfight between HyDra and Priestahh. HyDra wins it for Toronto Ultra to take streak control. Now how long can he stay alive? Because there's multiple players from the Subliners trying to take him down.
Oh, big battles. CleanX, he's looking pretty much every which way, but not the direction that of which New York was coming from. Now we prepare for P2 inside of the parking lot. Explosions everywhere, and it's actually, well, Scrappy taking down his good old buddy HyDra, so that's not going to make things that much easier, but thankfully for Toronto, they have managed to lock things down regardless. A quick and early lead change And Jay, it's kind of shocking, given the position that Toronto has. You didn't have early spawns, you have a team kill, yet you're the ones walking away with the time.
Yeah, that just can't happen if you are the Subliners. You got to clutch up in these gunfights in these crucial moments. And KiSMET finds another 2 in the feed, but look at the turnaround so far from CleanX. Not the best map, number 1, but already sitting at 10-3.
Ow.
This 20 seconds is going to go in favor of the Ultra. HyDra still here to contest, but it's all about that rotation towards top AC. It's going to be the Subliners here early, but CleanX, if he wins this one-on-one, he's the guy that can go on the pitch.
A little bit of a caster curse potentially coming in. I feel like he is a magnet to engagements right now. The Great Dane does eventually fall, but this is really the hard point to stress, Jay, right? These next 2 are where you can really start to lock down time. A full 60 obviously gets New York right back in the driver's seat. So into servers we go, and Toronto beginning their first plan of attack. Look at this setup right now from New York. They had pretty much everybody spread out and cutting down Toronto really right off the spawn.
Oh,
Great work as Priestahh wins an up-close gunfight. This has been, what? I mean, if you're Skyz, you've seen nobody yet.
This is picture perfect right now if you are Subliners. Everyone pushed out certain ways. You're spawning them all the way towards the parking lot. Ultra have not been able to get close towards top AC. And this was the difference maker as well. Subliners with a full 60 hold potentially. With only 20 seconds left. You have a couple players from Ultra still putting on pressure, but you will take that if you are New York. You win their rotation over towards P4. You get good time off of that P3 to take the little bit of a lead. Right now, Subliners in the driver's seat. They can get a good chunk of time off of this P4. They blow this game wide open.
Priestahh felt like he had that fight dead to rights, but it's Insight who's able to win it. Unreal stuff as now we prepare for the office. A quick 1v1 engagement, and for the moment, it is going to be HyDra that locks away the seconds. Toronto starting to pretty much formulate a bit of a center around this HP. Getting everybody in position. Bringing out a lot of the Vaznev. Scrapz putting big fights toward the outside. Makes it 2, and with that, it is a 4 spree for young Mr. Ernst. 2 more away, and he's got himself a cruise missile. This has been excellent work and a great answer from Toronto so far, Jay.
Beautiful answer from Toronto Ultra. We saw Subliners at the P3 spawn them all so far away from that hill that they were not able to contest it, and Ultra do it for at least 40 seconds there. So they're still in the lead by 20 points. Just gotta win a couple gunfights off the rotation. The only player you gotta focus on is Skyz. CleanX takes him down, and that's gonna be Ultra winning a rotation again over towards Kitchen. But this was the turning point last time around. It was easy breaks from the Subliners. How's the setup gonna be different from Ultra?
See how Toronto can start to learn. We talked about it. Both teams went to the drawing board after their prior series, trying to learn from previous mistakes. And Toronto hold things down in Kitchen. First blood gonna go the way of Priestahh. Here come the fights. Vaznev's out. Close quarter engagements is what this hill is all about. It's the instant break from NYSL.
And that is the turning point of the game. Send Skyz to the back end, KiSMET through the front. They find all the kills, and now Toronto Ultra spawning out. Have to try to get in towards this Kitchen hill. But every time they at least get one, Subliners are there to trade. Priestahh is able to find 2. HyDra does break it for now. Him and Insight trying to hold this down, allowing their teammates to get back into the play, and that's such a big break right there from Ultra. They are 11th in the league at successfully finding breaks. And if they can find a couple more in this game, they're going to be able to close out this series. Much needed time for Ultra to have the lead after the first set of rotations.
Yeah, potentially a sign of things to come. If you are the Ultra, that is great time that they're able to lock up toward the end there at P5. So now we reset. Second set of rotations is inbound, and it's a 27-point advantage right now for the hometown team. Trying to close out New York here. And right now, like we said, it is about the positioning. New York, for the moment, we're not spawning on the more favorable spot side. Now 2 players spawn toward the bottom. Both teams trying to handle business. And right now for HyDra, he's just trying to make sure that things are all solid inside of P1. And currently it is. Back and forth we go. New York, now with everybody off spawn, they begin to pounce, and now they've got the time inside of middle. HyDra, great work as he's got the cruise missile consumed.
Yeah, now he's got a cruise missile to work with. Definitely start to use that as this game starts to get in the later half of this one. But snap onto Scrapz. Great reaction time right there out of HyDra. Wins such a crucial one-on-one. He's a little bit of delusional confidence right there in that one-on-one child versus Insight. But Subliners still in this game. Ultra have to be thinking, how we're going to be able to break onto this P2 hard point. It starts by taking down Priestahh. You can take this street control. It's going to be a beautiful hold for Ultra to blow this game wide open.
But it's an unfortunate team kill, so Toronto a little bit low on numbers, and that will allow for New York's break to be that much easier. It's a big 1v1 to the point. CleanX makes a dent and keeps this hard point at least at bay for the time. And if you're the team in the lead right now, you will take that, given New York's positioning. Skyz recognizes the vacant hard point and now will jump in himself. And currently, it is NYSL finding the kills that they need to. Finding the kills off the spawn. And currently in sequence, a neck-and-neck game. We're separated by 1 point. And Toronto, they get the late break, but it's about this rotation. That is what this is all about.
Yeah, they need another break over towards the top AC, because that's where you allow the Subliners to get right back into the game. You get that final 15, that's great. But it's got to be a perfect break over towards the top AC. We're going to have Scrapz with that AR putting himself in towards top PD as well. So there's multiple different angles that Toronto Ultra are trying to put pressure on, but none of those angles lead to a kill. Wow. A clean 4 dead from the Subliners is now going to allow them to take the lead, now control the spawns as well.
And this is what we talked about right coming into this map. It was going to be based off of rotations. As you said, Toronto, they go for the last second break for 15 seconds. And with that, it now allows for NYSL to have so much free time over at the ACs. 30 seconds uncontested and 30 more that very well could belong to them too. A quick lead change and Scrapz able to dance for 2. Getting sturdy over toward the top of the ACs as we continue to battle back and forth. Such a neck-and-neck game, and it feels like for NYSL now it's about backing up and preparing for office. A late break for Ultra, but another rotation netted for New York.
Now this is the opportunity with Subliners. Had to set up properly. Ultra know that they had to take this time on this break. KiSMET started off with the first kill. KiSMET there for the trade. They're putting pressure on through the front. They're also applying the pressure on through the back. KiSMET with some bad timing. He has to win this one-on-one, he does. But Ultra, they in. They're finding the break. It's only Scrapz though.
So with Scrapz waiting for reinforcements to come off a spawn. KiSMET doesn't know where to look, thankfully. They'll be able to walk away with a kill regardless. Another lead change inbound, and at this point in the game, let's step aside and see how the comms are sounding. A check-in with the Subliners.
I have a shot out the door.
I'm playing you. I have H2. I have H2. Make a push. I have it.
H1, one shot. No, you're good. He's going H1 bath, okay? Take your time on this break. H1 bath, don't peek him. Nice one orange.
Yeah, one more in hit a house. Stay live ult.
Follow me, nice.
They rotated.
Yeah. I'm gonna do your gas, low gas.
I'm stunning right.
Low gas. Yo, nice. One hill for sure.
I'm pinching P2.
Yo, they got spawn orange, guys. They got spawn orange. Ready for orange?
Yeah,
I'm watching orange. He went into orange.
2-0.
Yeah. Take time on this break, bro. This break is huge. Nice.
Collapse together, alright? Don't go fast. Wait.
I'm going home.
Go the gas.
Nice. Go. One more. I have your help. I still
spawn.
PD. Yo, P1.
I got one.
I need P1.
Yeah, one's going for launch, I think.
Yo, give me your gas. I'll get your gas back. I have your gas. You get hill?
I have your laundry.
I spawned I have laundry. Turn.
Laundry, we get hill, please.
One for laundry.
I'll get hill.
Yeah, laundry.
Laundry is dead.
Nice. Yo, there's one.
Gas.
PD spawn.
Help me over.
Yeah, you're good. Laundry dead.
That's one on me.
I'm watching my top gas. I got you.
Yo, this one PD is few.
How about the communication coming in from New York, Jay? We talk about that P5 again. HyDra right now is running wild, having a blast on the map at 30-20. And with that, New York, they're going to walk over the final 3 seconds. They are just moments away from closing things out here in Game 4 and forcing us the distance.
Yeah, with that break, HyDra might have just called it. And now the Subliners are already on the P1. There's only 1 second left that is needed. Subliners just need one opportunity, and KiSMET might have just got it done. The Subliners clutch up into map number 4 and force the Game 5.
I mean, right as we go to that listen-in, you saw a great little situation brew for Toronto, some great teamwork, but we were on HyDra's POV, and understandably so. He is just going to every single corner, watching every single entry into the kitchen. And it just felt like in that situation, I mean, the communication's very calm, cool, collected from the NYSL boys, but it just feels like HyDra takes over. The rest of the team follows in stride, and from there, such a neck-and-neck game, a tight race at the moment, just starts to get extended little by little. And now we've got ourselves a map 5 brewing, buddy.
And it's just like that map number 1 hardpoint. The SMG set the tone for the Subliners. 31 kills out of HyDra, 29 kills out of KiSMET. Just came down to that final moment in towards Kitchen. Ultra were the team that won the rotation. And when you allow HyDra to find himself behind enemy lines, he's always gonna make something happen. And he's able to find 3 to eventually end the game out for the Subliners. And now they go to another game 5.
I think we've seen this situation happen before. In fact, it was day number 1 here of the Ultra Major. But who is going to move on? It is an elimination game. Winner faces off against Minnesota. Next loser is headed home top 4. You do not want to miss it. When we come back, it is time for game 5 between these two teams.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Hi there, friends, and welcome back to Major 5 here from Toronto. We're taking a look through the eyes there of the squirrel because this is what it's all about. Everybody, Jay, trying to find that diamond nut. Both of these teams trying to make it into the elimination final to have a chance of making it into our final two. But it is currently Toronto Ultra facing off against the New York Subliners. These teams faced off just days ago, and the opening day here at the Toronto Major went down to a Game 5, and now we are back here again. It's been a crazy one, buddy, but here we are. Thoughts as we load in?
This is the Game 5, Mercado S&D. These teams have not played it against each other yet, but they both have a nice little record. 4-1 for Toronto Ultra, 3-1 for the New York Subliners. What makes them so great at this map for both teams is their attacking side. For Toronto Ultra, whenever they get the bomb down, they have a 92% chance at winning the round. That's basically locked up. So if you're the Subliners, you got to be able to shut that down. And then for the Subliners, the reason why they are good in their attacking rounds, it's not in the first bloods. Believe it or not, they find themselves in 3v4 situations a lot on this map, but they clutch up in those situations. On the attacking side in 3v4s, they have a 66% chance at winning the round. So it's going to be all about these attacks. They're going to go back and forth when it comes to the blows, but who's going to make the proper adjustments throughout the middle of the game on the defensive side to take a couple of those rounds?
It's what it's all about. It's about the mid-round adjustments, all of the preparation that you've been doing all season long. You've been waiting for moments like this. We saw, right? Toronto, they literally had a map of hotel. They're going through the blueprint. They're writing everything down. The same thing has been said for New York. Both of these teams who have won majors throughout this season, right after, saw a very quick fall from grace, and now they're trying to return back to prior season form. Game 5, here we come, here we go. Round 1 on Mercado starts now.
You can already see Toronto Ultra. They chuck all the nades over towards that A site, but nothing is going to connect, so they get that info early on. The Subliners might be putting pressure over towards 10. It's going to be HyDra in a great position. If he turns this corner, he could potentially find 2. Can he find the timing?
Oh, accidentally. I thought for a moment was rather about to eat that stun. So for New York, it's a quick little check over at 10 and a quick pirouette toward the other side of the map. So HyDra, no idea. He was the one standing strong. Had 2 players just around the corner, but they will look to reposition. A little late on it, but here come New York. CleanX, shifty movement just to escape. Manages to dodge the line of sight check there from Skyz, but here come New York. A quick answer here from Toronto. Scrap low on HP, has got to use Daddy to maybe escape. 25 seconds left, and the snipe is out from Caesar.
Oh, and he gets the info as well, so now it's a 1v1. Just gonna commit towards putting his palm down. KiSMET has found himself in multiple 1v1 scenarios. He puts himself in a nice spot, but he doesn't go for the towel!
Oh my God!
KiSMET with the snap! How does he win that gunfight? How does he win that gunfight? You see the frustration on Scrap's face.
I gotta see it again. Oh! Oh, goodness!
Oh, that one's gotta sting, but the Bulldog comes out in round number 1. Makes the clutch happen. Puts the bomb down, and then wins an insane gunfight to clutch up and take the first round. We gotta see it again. Look how many shots he hits him with. Did he all of a sudden become Michael Jackson or something? He was just dodging all the shots. New York take first round.
Oh my goodness, that was unbelievable. It looked like from our POV, Scrap had that kill. Dead to rights. You saw the frustration on his face after the opening round loss, but they got to get that out of their minds and be prepared. Now for round number 2, their first look at attack. Here we go.
They're just playing this patient, but Subliners are trying to solo out Insight, and it works out to perfection. HyDra with the first blood. Now Toronto in a man-down advantage. HyDra does make it a 3v3 now. Great shots. Let's just commit towards getting this bomb down.
But take a look at HyDra. I thought for a moment he was going to instantly commit to that flank. He and Scrap having battles. It looks like that one will have to wait for a little bit longer. Time continues to tick, and now what Toronto have done have forced New York to come to them. 2 players from one side, and it's HyDra on the other. Scrappy, ready and prepared. Surely it's not another close range fight loss, and it is! HyDra walks away with it, and now New York are trying to hunt down where Toronto are. HyDra, it's all up to him! found out, and New York take another nail biter.
Subliners just clutch up. They get the first blood. Even though the bomb does get planted, it was on HyDra winning that one-on-one versus Scrapz. The Tax 56 in your hand, I would have liked to see him play top balcony, put himself in a better positioning with that AR. But up close and personal, HyDra is not worried. Wins that one-on-one. HyDra was there for the trade, but the rest of the Subliners applied the pressure. Find the final 2 kills, secure the defuse, and now up 2-0.
A frustrating start to the search and destroy. New York instantly answer, building upon the momentum that they earned at that last hard point. And as KiSMET quickly and fiery through the tunnels, and Skyz will answer off the rip with the first blood. CleanX out of the picture as he is yet to find a kill. You rely on that guy so often in your opening engagements, and once more he is out of the round. New York, their round to lose, 4v3 bomb planted.
Yeah, this round is basically locked up for the Subliners. You find the second kill off the Scrapz. Now it's a 4v2. You know that inside is close as well. Priestahh lines them up. Now it's all on HyDra in the 1v4. Subliners, another first blood. You apply the pressure over towards Hedge. Once KiSMET jumps on top dumpster, you get that bomb down. You know they can't retake from that side. Priestahh holds down tunnel. Gets a couple freebies. So far, the Subliners playing flawless in this game 5, 3-0.
And I don't know about you, Jay, but just given the way that the hard point concluded, I mean, if you are Toronto, I know that it's currently 0-3, but this is a round that you have got to take.
Yeah.
Just with how clean that last one looked, you can tell New York starting to get comfortable here on Mercado. A must-win for Ultra coming up, and it cannot come at the hands of another first blood loss. So far, all 3 have gone the way of NYSL. As into this attack we go. Everybody hanging out over at A, hanging out inside of Cantina.
Ultra, they're just going to try to put the bomb down. Nice little stretch spot right there from HyDra. So now you're going to force Subliners to 4v4 retake. You have 2 players popping that dead silence, which is going to be that SMG duo working that deep flank. It's actually going to be 3 players while Skyz on the opposing side. Can he hold strong while his teammates are putting pressure to his back end?
Scrapz is a little bit exposed. He's got to be careful here. He just lost insight. Can he escape with his life? Just narrowly does. 20 seconds on the bomb. New York starting to get a move on. CleanX gets on the board. KiSMET drops. Into the 2v2 we go. HyDra does not spot CleanX over toward the hedge. Now he does. New York with bomb site control. Through into the fights. It's a 1v1. HyDra tagged up. Will not be able to add a 4th on the books. But can he add a 4th to the streak? HyDra dies to the bomb, but regardless for Toronto, you escape bruised and battered, but with the 1 next to your name.
Yeah, HyDra just made the play happen right there. He gets that bomb down. He finds the first kill over towards the yellow truck, and is not slowed down. Aggressive through tunnel to find the second 1v1 gunfight. And he knows the clock is on my side. Just cannot die in these moments, and he plays it beautifully. So allow Ultra to get their very first round of the map. Back to the defensive side they go. And with the Subliners on their attacks, it's looking like they're going to put pressure over towards B. It falls into the hands of HyDra.
Yeah, with that utility toss, HyDra is instantly going to be able to give communication over to the teammates. Hey, this is clearly where they are going. Some audio cues. Is he ready? Yes, he is. Great work from Charlie Hicks over the top rope. Ends up falling, so with that, it's a freebie for NYSL. Deddy popped on the side of HyDra. And in the meantime, we've got some action going on over on the A site. It's a 2v1 on one side of the map, but a 2v1 on the other. Bomb about to go down. Scrapz there for the read.
Scrapz makes the play. Takes down KiSMET. Now you know the bomb's down towards B. Filling himself a little bit. Let's try to go for the trade. He has bullets in his gun, but eventually it lines up to find a final. It's a 1v1, and Scrapz makes it happen. Ultra, 2 rounds in a row.
That is a bad man, ladies and gentlemen. Brought a knife to the gunfight. Hits him with the bullet. Drops Skyz. CleanX falls, and he's ready to take down the other. So many situations, Jay. 2 rounds, as a matter of fact, that went the way of New York. Came at the cost of Scrappy dying in an influential situation. This time, he makes good on it. 3 kills in that round, and Toronto right back in it.
So far, it's only him and HyDra who have been taken over in this search and destroy, but CleanX is able to find the first blood. CleanX is able to find the second. You do not see this type of pressure up towards heads with an AR. It's a 1v4. It's all done. Toronto Ultra with 3 straight rounds to tie the game up at 3. They have come alive.
What was it, Jay? Like 30 seconds ago, I was like, okay, this round's pretty important for Toronto. And just like that, here they come, roaring back in front of their fans, in front of family, and in front of Tilt.
Guys, 3 to 3. Moves, by the way.
What's that?
Tilt's got the dance moves.
Oh, he does? Yeah, during the commercial breaks.
Yeah, he was getting down, man.
Having a great time. He's starting to boogie. If Scrapz wins this series, they have to do a little bit of a dance together. Get sturdy on the main stage. Into round 7 we go. The big gun brought out from Scrappy. But it's Skyz who starts things off with a pick on him. KiSMET the second.
Yeah, Skyz with the big first blood on the Scrap, but KiSMET being the island player, he wins a one-on-one versus HyDra. So now it's inside and CleanX. Haven't really had the best S&D as KiSMET makes him pay for it. Toby, Mr. CleanX, the tissue is an issue. Left in a 1v3.
1v3. Have you got the ice, CleanX? A situation that is never easy. Working on information, but it's just so difficult to even get to this bomb site. Have to remove so much utility, and now gonna have to give his position away. Oh my God, dodges a sniper bullet, but the second one is there to land. 3 rounds that New York let go. This time, they finally get back on the board and reclaim their advantage.
Yeah, Subliners just committed over towards that B site. Once Skyz finds that first blood through the middle of the map, the great angle onto Scrap. It was a sniper battle, but he's able to get the better of him and then finds a final kill on the round. I don't know how that first bullet misses, but he makes up for it with the second. And that's just a round right there where Ultra can't get 2-piece by KiSMET. He's the only player over towards that A site. The island player trying to make an individual play happen. And he finds 2 to lead to the Subliners getting the round. Back up 4-3.
So far in this game, New York dominant in the first bloods, 5-2. Toronto, you've been so clutch. I mean, you've been winning a majority of your rounds without even having the opening engagement, and this time it continues to go the other direction. You can tell for CleanX, he thought he had one for sure, but instantly on reply, it is 2, nearly the 3rd. HyDra felt like he had it. He's tagged up 2 players. You have all the information in the world right now if you're Ultra.
Yeah, I would put the bomb down in this situation. You already spotted KiSMET through the middle of the map. You know that Skyz was definitely over towards heads, but KiSMET, I don't know if he has dead silence, but he does get taken down by Insight. Skyz takes down Scrap. Now with 40 seconds left, it's a 1v2 with the bomb going over towards B.
You can tell Toronto so hesitant. Skyz has been sensational so far with the snipe. And I believe he did pick up a weapon off the ground, so I don't think it's just the SPX that he's going to have in his arsenal. Bomb planted. Can he find anything? That'll be the question. You've got to be careful if you're Ultra. They know who they're facing off against.
Okay, 35 seconds. Trying to get some kind of information because he doesn't have that silence to work with. Trophy system in the back pocket. So if you are HyDra and Insight, just hold strong in towards the 10 setup. Skyz rats back through back alley. It's still nothing. No info gain.
15 seconds. Sniper in hand. Bow! Misses it. And Toronto. Ultra answer. Gets a little scary toward the end, and I don't think that Skyz was able to find a weapon off the ground. There's surely no way he's feeling that confident. Bringing a sniper into a close quarter situation. It looked like he did a weapon swap in the middle of the map, but regardless of it, too many bodies. If you are Toronto, you lose the first blood, but you answer back in every kill after.
And that's the round right there where HyDra put himself in a great position towards Barbershop, but he was super committed on going on that flank. Once he drops, puts his team in a disadvantage. Just got to hold down that power spot next time around. Keep your man up. Now tied up at 4, Priestahh finds another first blood. A lot of pressure over towards the heads. There's still players, 2 players from Toronto Ultra in this position. They're waiting for the jump up.
Let's take a look at HyDra. Oh, HyDra gets red, and now it's instantly all on to Scrap. A 1v4 and clean as you like. Subliners do damage here in this round and now have put themselves on series point.
They find the first blood. They apply the pressure over towards Hedge. One player did have an opportunity to make it through tunnel, but that line of sight was being watched. So now the Subliners get a clean 4 in that round. So now put them at game point. Toronto Ultra, the crowd behind them, gonna have to try to bring this one back.
Jay, they need a first blood. They need a first blood. They have 2 so far. We played 9 rounds. Ultra, it has to start with an opening kill. As they begin their pursuit on the attack, it is utility toss, and it is the first blood.
Scrapz takes down Skyz. Now you can get this bomb down, 92% chance at winning the round whenever it's planted. Now you put it even better. So you're in the man-up advantage. You have HyDra going on the super late flank, KiSMET and Priestahh trying to work through middle, but time is starting to tick. They're wasting a lot of time.
Scrapz with information, tags into HyDra. 2 players making their way through the back alley. Smart decision, back away, make New York have to come to you. As they've got the info that they need. Priestahh finds one, Scrapz able to answer, 2v2. We continue to battle. Oh, it's all on to Hixie, and New York will be there for the retake. It's a stunner as they punch in the digits, and that is the series.
Subliners get first blooded in that final round. Toronto Ultra put the bomb down. It's supposed to be locked up from there. But then in the 4v3 situation, even though CleanX gets the info onto Priestahh, teammate is there to trade. You cannot be that aggressive in those moments, man. There's too many angles that need to be watched by your teammates. Once he applies that pressure, you now force Hixie to go play for that trade. He finds the kill, but now the flank is left open. KiSMET and HyDra find the final 3 kills of the map to completely turn this series around. They didn't need the control to get the W. That's what it usually comes down to between these 2 teams. But if you're winning both hard points, you show some serious ice on a game number 5. The Subliners just brought it today, man. They got the better of the Ultra.
They did indeed. They get their revenge, and it's another search and destroy victory here for the Subliners team, who, as we said, in land search destroy has not been great. This tournament, they have been excellent. But that last round, Jay, it's going to live in your mind for a very long time. I mean, it instantly all fell apart in just a matter of seconds. I mean, we were ready for the round 11. We should be in a round 11 right now. We should be making the final call at this moment. But regardless, it is NYSL who grab it, they answer, and just like that, it's an elimination final.
They've been on a run, man. They've been on a run. Both the 2 hard points, they were in control of rotations, doing the fundamental things right. HyDra doing what HyDra does. So you're gonna be able to take those 2 modes, but in a game number 5, where you don't usually play it a lot, you have to make the adjustments versus one of the best, if not the best, attacking team on the map. They got it done, man. Subliners continue to move on.
They somehow managed to do it. An unbelievable elimination bracket run. It started off with losing to this team. They've got the revenge, and now they've got a date with Minnesota. That's going to do it for myself and Jay. Des, take it away, guys.
What a showdown we just saw between Toronto Ultra and New York Subliners. And during that series, Nameless, you mentioned, I want to see this at Champs. Can you imagine a grand finals going to game 9 between these 2?
Oh my God, it'd be absolutely incredible, Chris. Like, that is some high-level Call of Duty, especially at the end of that search and destroy. Like, New York's last 2 rounds there were masterful. Whoever's making those play calls, can you give him a raise, please, New York?
Yeah. We'll dive into the search and destroy here in a moment as production is going to get some clips up and running. Real quick message to all the Ultra fans in the crowd. Can you give it up for your team one more time? They put on a show for everybody here in Toronto this weekend. Get your Ultra gear because you'll be able to cheer your team on in just 2.5 weeks as they head to Vegas, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just little things. This team is close. I think they know it. You saw the frustration there from Scrap.
I mean, even just that last round, I know we'll break it down, but man, just I think just second guessing themselves a little bit. Maybe the pressure gets to them. There were some simple things. I'm sure they'll go back, watch the VOD, and be even more pissed off. Honestly, you had numbers advantage. You have that bomb down. That's just something you have to close on out. But you know what? A couple of weeks, this team, we know that they can play with the best. We saw it versus FaZe. We saw it there again versus New York. Who knows? They are a contender.
Here is your Scuff play of the game, and this one, of course, belongs to the Subliners, who play spoiler in Toronto. Walk me through this one. You said KiSMET got by Nameless. How'd he pull this off?
Dude, I don't know what happened here, if he jumped on the wall, how he got around, but he gets past. They're inside a top canteen. There's just so many angles to watch, and then he finds the kill onto Scrapz, and simultaneously, you have HyDra in a one-on-one with an SMG versus an AR. And to me, that was the story of New York throughout this map. The close engagements around Cantina, the SMGs kept winning the gunfights against the ARs.
Ali, last time it was Toronto in a Game 5. New York comes out with revenge on Championship Sunday as they power into our top 3. But what is your takeaway from this series? Because we are going to see both of these teams playing for champs.
I think both these teams can take a lot away from this series. New York obviously needs to start cleaning up that hotel control because that was masterclass from the side of Toronto Ultra. Side of Toronto Ultra, they have to start cleaning up those hard points. They lost them to Atlanta FaZe as well earlier on. That's kind of been the nail in the coffin for them when it comes to these top teams. And also they allowed New York to control the pace a lot of the times in those 1 and 4s as well. So I think they can learn that once they kind of don't fall into the trap that can be New York of HyDra going 30 and 20, they'll be okay.
They let KiSMET off the leash, and now New York powers into your losers bracket final. Let's break this one down for you here. Joe, walk me through the bracket. How do we get to this point in the tournament?
A lot of 3-0s. Yeah, a lot of 3-0s. Right there. These two had, you know, 2 back-to-back Game 5s, Ultra in New York, but Ultra, you know, they drop down, they lose 3-1, a very close match versus Atlanta FaZe. They then go down 3-0 LA Thieves. They set up this rematch. For New York, they just took care of business. That's a 9-0 map count. Unbelievable. They're now, what, 12-2 in their last 4 matches, rolling from losers round 1. No surprise there, but then up top, it's Atlanta FaZe just waiting to see who will win between Røkkr and NYSL coming up next.
Save your seat, Toronto lock in. Just 2 matches remain here in the final major of 2023. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we have that elimination final, and while you're waiting for that to kick off, get your gear already. I see so many of you claiming your drops in the